Hello, and welcome to the Beginner's Guide for VideoProc Vlogger. Before we begin, please note that this is a beginner's guide to this program. There may be some things that we skip just because they are an advanced topic. However, if you wish to know more about those features, there's a full documentation on the program and everything about it on VideoProc's website that I'll link to in the description below. When you first start the program, you'll see the main starting menu. From here, you can either choose to create a new project or open a recently used one. On the right, you'll see settings for a brand new project, including a project name, the location of where you would like to save it, the video resolution by width, by height, and you can also choose a preset for this here, the frame rate or frames per second, or if you'd like, you can check the box to create a custom video resolution for yourself. Once you're finished with those primary settings, just click the New Project button. On the left, you'll see your most recently used projects. You can open a project by clicking on it or clicking the Open Project button here. Here is your main window. This main window is broken down into several smaller windows. The first is the menu. Second is the media library. Third is the preview panel. Fourth is the inspector. Fifth is the toolbar. And sixth is the timeline. Before we go into a deep dive onto each one of these windows, here's a general tip. If you ever forget what a button does, you can hover over the button with your mouse. After a few seconds, a pop-up will appear and tell you what the button does or what it's called. In the top right of the window is your menu. You can choose to save your project or view different notifications. Next is the media library. Here you can choose between viewing your media library, transitions, titles, or effects. In each section, you're allowed to add in new files or folders by pressing the plus button in the top left. You can delete items or folders by pressing the minus button, search for certain things in the search bar, change how large the icons are, and filter the items by certain parameters. Also note, in the transitions, titles, and effects section, you can press the heart button to favorite an effect, transition, or title. In the media library, all of your media that you import can be found here. It's organized by the kind of media, including videos, pictures, music, and subtitles. Transitions are the effect that changes one video clip into another. You'll see a thumbnail showing an example of what they can do below. And if you like one, you can always press the heart button to favorite it, and unpress the heart button to unfavorite it. Titles are text that can be placed onto your videos. They range from credits, subtitles, and titles. Effects can be placed on your video clips to make them appear different. Some are meant for creative purposes like aberration, color glitch, and more, while others are meant to help or correct the footage like mask, denoise, and more. While we won't be going into detail about what each effect does, I highly recommend Googling what effects you don't know and learning about them. For example, if you don't know where to start, I recommend learning about masks and denoise. And finally, to minimize the media window, press the yellow button on the side. You can open it again anytime by pressing it again. Next in the middle is the preview panel. It helps you see your video editing results on the timeline in real time. Under the video preview, you'll have several buttons. The first is the pause button. You can pause the video by clicking this button or pressing the space key. You'll notice that there are two different play buttons. The first is to play where the playhead or the red line is below. The second is to play from the very beginning of your project, regardless of where the playhead or the red line is. The left and right arrows allow you to go back or forward one frame. This is a great way to cut your footage at the right time that you want it. To help you in your video editing process, you can add markers on your timeline. This can be a tool to help you mark certain places for editing, make a note if you want to change a clip, and even more. To delete a marker, just right-click on it and press Delete Marker. And finally, you can view the video in full screen by pressing the full screen button in the bottom right. To get out of full screen mode, click the Escape button on your keyboard. Next is the Inspector window. When you click on a clip, the inspector window will display several things for you to view or different parameters you can change. What it displays will depend on the kind of media clip that you select. For example, we've selected on a video clip. You'll notice in the inspector window that it displays resolution and frame rate for the clip, the name of the clip, which we can change, and assign it a different color. You can view the time and duration of the clip that you have on your timeline. It displays what section of the video you are currently using. You can change it to what you would like it to be as well. Opacity allows you to change how visible the clip is on your timeline. The color and filter section allows you to change the clip's exposure, or how bright or dark it is, the contrast, the dynamic range of the clip, saturation, or how colorful it is, and change other advanced settings. You can also click on the color and filter editor for more in-depth options and even color presets. I highly recommend that you check this out. The transform section allows you to change the rotation, scale, position, even flip the video, or fit it to the screen resolution. The volume settings allow you to change certain parameters to the audio that comes with the video, if it does have it. You can mute it, change the volume to be louder or quieter, and fade the audio in or out. In the reverse play section, you can reverse the clip to play backwards. The play speed section allows you to change the speed of the clip to be faster or slower. Lens distortion correction allows you to correct lens distortion that is found on GoPros and other action cameras. You can correct image blurring and smooth it. Apply a voice changer to the audio, and apply other settings. You'll notice that other settings will appear when using other various types of clips, including audio, title, and more. If you wish to return all the settings to the default values, you can press the Reset All button in the top right. You can also expand or fold all the options by pressing the Fold All button at the top, and you can expand them by pressing the Expand All. To minimize the inspector, press the yellow button. You can also open it by pressing it again. Next is the Toolbar section. Undo allows you to take back the last action you performed. Redo lets you apply the previous action you withdrew. Delete lets you delete whatever is selected. You can also press delete on your keyboard. Split cuts a track into two parts. Split all is to split all the clips at the selected point. When the ripple edit option is selected, any trimmed clips on the main video track will close any gaps between trimmed clips automatically. When the time stretch option is selected, it'll change the duration of a video by adjusting the speed at a constant rate to compensate. Click the speed button to open the speed editor panel, where you can speed up a clip, create a speed ramp, and even more. Hit apply when you're done. Click the crop button to open the crop panel, in which you can crop clips at different aspect ratios. Hit apply when you're done. Click the motion button to open the motion editor panel, in which you can redesign the camera movement by motion crop. Within it, you can change where it begins and ends by moving these markers. Hit apply when you're done. Color opens the color editor panel to let you apply filters, correct colors, and add 3D LUTs. Hit apply when you're done. Click Audio to open the Audio Editor panel after selecting an audio clip on the timeline. It allows you to adjust volume, remove background noise, adjust audio speed, apply audio filters, equalizers, and beat analyzer. To separate the audio from a video clip on the main video track, click the Detach button. Press the Record button to record voiceover from an audio device and save it in the media library. You can insert text onto your timeline. You can change the content, size, font, color, space, and text duration in the inspector panel. Extract an MP3 version of the audio from the video you're working on by pressing the Extractor button. This is great for converting your audio into text. Export allows you to export your finished project as a video. Fit size zooms your timeline in or out to fit your current window size. You can adjust the zoom settings here by sliding the dot or clicking on the plus or minus buttons. Next, we'll go over some of the tools available in the toolbar. The first one is the speed button. Clicking the speed button will open the speed editor window. From here, you can increase the speed of your footage, slow it down, and make various speed effects. You'll also notice there's a bunch of presets for you to choose from. If you'd like to choose a preset, it's as simple as just clicking on it. Once the preset has been applied, you can actually modify it to your liking. You can change how slow or fast a point is by pulling upward to increase the speed or downwards to decrease the speed. The speed of your clip will actually follow the yellow line. When you do want to add a new point, you can right-click on the yellow line and press Add Point. Or you can go up and press the Add Point button. If you would like to delete a point, you can also right-click on it and press Delete Point, or hit the Delete Point button. If you would like to reset the effect and start over new, you can press the Reset button. Once you're finished, hit the Apply button to apply it to the clip. In the future, if you wish to change the speed settings that are applied to a clip, all you'll need to do is select the clip again and press the Speed button. Next is the Crop button. From here, you'll be able to crop your footage into different aspect ratios. At the bottom, you'll see a bunch of presets that you can choose from, or you can create a custom one. To change your custom settings, just enter in your new values at the top. Once you're satisfied with your edits, hit Apply. Next is the Motion button. Clicking this will open the Motion Editor window. From here, you can add in different motion effects. In the Presets menu, you'll see a bunch of different settings for zooming in on your footage, zooming out, moving it left or right, moving it up or down, rolling it, and various other effects. To add a preset, just simply click on it and press Add. Once a preset's been applied to the clip below, you'll see different markers with numbers. This lets you know when the effect begins, reaches its highest point, and then ends. You can change these various markers by clicking on them and moving them left and right. To delete a marker or a keyframe, click on it and then press the Delete Keyframe button. If you want to add a keyframe to customize your effect, click the Add Keyframe button. At the bottom, you'll see different values that you can manipulate, including the time that the keyframe is at, the duration, rotation, if you would like it to be a smooth transition or not, and your speed. Once you're satisfied with your effect, click the Apply button. Next is the Audio button. Clicking this will open the Audio Editor window. From here, you can manipulate your audio to be louder, to be quieter, to fade in or out, to mute certain sections, to change the equalizer, or add an effect. You can apply these various things to the whole clip or sections of it. If you don't make a selection when applying an effect, it will apply to the whole thing. To make a selection, simply click and drag across a section. What's highlighted in green is what you've selected. Mute silences your selection. Invert mute silences anything not selected. Equalizer allows you to change the loudness of certain frequencies. Moving the slider up makes that section louder, and moving the slider down makes it quieter. At the bottom, you'll see various presets for different genres. Click one to apply it. If you wish to reset, hit the Reset All button at the top. You can apply an effect to the selected portion of your track. Hitting the effect button will open up the different sound effects. Clicking on one will open up different parameters for it. For the speed change, you can change the speed at which it's played. You can even hear a preview of it by hitting the play button. Once you're happy with those settings, hit apply. The Analyzer button will analyze your audio for different things. You can analyze for percussion music, rhythmic music, or finding silences in your audio. You can click on one and change the parameters of it. You can also press the All Options button to select them all. Then press Analyze. This will find and select all the different parameters going on. Once you're done editing your audio, hit Apply. Lastly is the Extractor button. Click on it to open the Extractor window. This allows you to extract the audio track from a various video track or audio track, and you can use this for several other applications, including translating your audio into text and other various things. Select the tracks you would like to export, then give it a file name and a place to save it to. And when you're ready, hit Start. Next is the timeline. The timeline is where you place all of your various clips. The timeline displays the time starting at 0 on the left and continues moving right. The playhead, which is displayed as a red line, is where you start playing when you press the spacebar, and also displays the current frame it's hovering over in the preview panel. The time where the playhead is located at will display above the playhead. Within the timeline, you'll notice that there's several different track types. Video is for video clips or photos from your media library. However, you can only have one video track. Just because you can only have one video track doesn't mean you can't have multiple tracks that have videos on them. If you want to put another video clip on top of the video track, you'll have to put it on the overlay track. Overlay is for video or other overlays that will appear on top of the content found on the video track. For example, if you want to put a text box on your video, it will be located in the overlay track. If you decided to add multiple overlays, the lowest overlay on your timeline will appear on top, followed by the next lowest overlay. The effect track is for any effects you want to apply to any tracks above it. Audio is for audio clips from your media library. Subtitles are for text that you wish to add to your video that will not be affected by the overlays and effects. This is perfect for video subtitles that you don't want to change the color of or have the effects affect them. To add a new track, you can click on the plus sign below the tracks or in the top left part of the timeline. On each one of these tracks, you can lock the track so it can't be changed or edited, disable the track so it can't be seen, or mute the audio so it can't be heard. You can also lock all the tracks by clicking the lock button above the tracks. When you're ready to start editing your footage, you need to import it. To import your media assets, go to the media library and click on the plus button, Add Files. Search for your file or files and click Select. Once it's imported, you'll see it in the media library. To add content to your timeline, simply click and drag the selected clip down into your timeline. You can then select what portions you want to keep and split the clips into your desired pieces. Once you're finished with your project, you can click the Export button to get your finished product. On the export screen, you'll choose from the following. You can change the file's name, where you want to save the file to, what format you want to save it as. I recommend choosing MP4 for video. Underneath, you'll see the output details, including the resolution, duration, and how much space on your computer you have left. On the right, you'll see different settings for video and audio. In the video section, the first setting you see is the quality of the video. You can choose between low, medium, high, or a number between 1 through 5, with 5 being the highest quality possible. Next is the video codec. I just recommend leaving it on AVC H.264. You can choose your frame rate and you can choose your video bit rate. For now, variable is best for saving space. Until you know what the others do, we recommend going with variable. In the audio settings, you can choose to not export the audio, so it will just export the video track. Click the checkbox if you just want to export the video. You can change the audio codec, which we recommend leaving on MP3. You can choose the sample rate of your audio. We recommend leaving it at 48,000 until you know what you're doing. Your channel, which we recommend leaving on stereo, and bitrate. Just make sure to choose something that's 128 or higher. The higher the bitrate, the higher quality your audio will be. If you have a computer that is able to handle hardwire acceleration, click yes. If not, no worries. All it does is speed up the time it takes to export the video. When you're ready and finished with the settings, press start to begin the export. That's the basics of VideoProc Vlogger. You now know everything you need to start importing your footage and making it look as awesome as you want. However, if you're looking for more education on how to make your action camera footage look amazing, don't worry, we've got that video for you right here.